Hey guys, it's Eric, owner of Farpoint Farms here in the mountains of North Carolina. And this morning it's time to break out the Spam, man. I made a Spam video like 3 years ago. It actually got quite a few views over the years. It's how to make the ultimate Spam sandwich. Well, this morning I'm going to show you how to make the ultimate breakfast Spam sandwich. That's right. I'm going to be using genuine Spam because it was on sale. And not just genuine Spam, but bacon flavored genuine Spam. If you haven't tried this stuff, you're missing out because it's really, really, really good. And it's really, really bad for you, I'm sure, but who cares because it's Spam, and Spam is good. So we got some ingredients to make this breakfast. So simple. Here they are right here. We're going to be using the Spam, some eggs, 2 pieces of toast, a little bit of mayonnaise. You don't have to use mayonnaise. I like the mayonnaise. And I like a slice of cheese on there. I just happen to have this pre-sliced stuff. Usually we get the block cheese, but yeah, I got it. I'm going to use it. Anyway, we're going to use that, and we'll just need 1 frying pan. I got the pan over here, about that size. So you can use 2 pans and cook these things side by side, but I'm just not that big a hurry, so I'm not going to do that. But I am going to go ahead and turn that on. I'm going to turn that on to fairly low. I want that Spam to cook. I want it to kind of leach out some of the oils and tighten up pretty nicely. I do not want it to get burnt, so I'm going to cook it nice, slow and low, but I want it to be crispy. So we're going to go ahead and get that started. I'll go ahead and open up the can. I'll show you how I slice it. Now you can slice these different ways, but I like slicing it in a certain way, so let me show you. I got my can of Spam. This is that bacon Spam. It's been around for about 3 years now. You know, sometimes flavors come and they go, but in this case, this was a hit, so they kept it on the market. Looks like no, that's just a regular sandwich. But anyway, well, let's get this thing going. We'll open her up. This is usually the point where the cats start running because they think that they're going to get a treat, but not today, my friends. Set that aside. I usually keep these things for the fat, like draining fat off of stuff, and go ahead and pour it in there. We're left with our beautiful block of Spam. I'm going to get a knife here, and I am going to cut this thing fairly good sized chunks here, you'll see. About that thick. Alright, so as you can see, fairly good size. I'd say, 3/8 of an inch maybe. And I'll transfer those to the pan. Alright, so we got our pan. Like I said, it's about medium low, or just a little off of low, really. It's had a chance to warm up. I'm not putting any butter or anything like that down here. The Spam has enough fat in it that it really shouldn't need anything to get it not to stick. And I'll just lay my 3 pieces on here and cook them. And now it's a waiting game. We're going to be cooking this for, I don't know, probably 5 minutes aside at least. You just want to have it nicely crisp. You don't want it burnt, so that's what the low temps are for. And while we're doing that, I'm not really going to do anything else because, you could get a second pan going and do the eggs in a second pan, but I prefer to just wait. When I take these off here in a few minutes, then we'll get the eggs and the bread started at the same time, and it'll all time itself out perfectly. So let's just hang tight. Alright, you can see these have been cooking for a few minutes now. I'm going to go ahead and flip them over. There we go. Judging by that one, I'm going to turn the heat down just a little bit. There we go, and I'm going to turn those around and let them cook evenly. But as you can see, they are starting to crisp up. I will let that continue here for a few more minutes, and we'll go from there. Alright, we're about another 5 minutes in here, and I'm just going to flip these back over. Let's take a look at the other side now. Yeah, nicely brown. So the idea here is cook to taste, right? Cook to suit your taste. I like mine crispy, so now I'm going to give them another about 2.5 minutes on that side, another 2.5 minutes on this side, and they'll be good enough for me. We'll move those over to some paper towels to dry off, let some of that grease leach out of it, and we're ready to move on. Okay, check it out. Nice and crisp, not burnt, just about the way I like them. And of course, you can always leave them on a little longer or take them off a little sooner depending on your taste, but I'm going to go ahead and take these off the stove here for a second, put those onto some paper towels, and we'll be ready to start cooking our eggs. So before we start with the eggs, there's 2 things I'm going to do right now. I'm going to turn my heat down to just off of absolute low. Now your stove might be a little different temperature wise, but I find that I want my eggs to cook real slow and low. I'm going to leave this grease in the pan. That's actually going to take the place of the butter you would normally use to cook eggs. And before I start cracking those eggs, I'm going to get my toast started in the toaster. I'm going to put this in the toaster, and I don't want this to be very toasted, I want it to be lightly toasted so it still has some mush to it so it doesn't fall apart or break apart when I get it cooking. We'll go ahead and close that up, and I'm going to start that on 3. All right, now how many eggs you got and how many eggs you want to use, that's entirely up to you. I've got some, this one looks like a double yolker here. We'll pop that open to see what comes out. Yep, that's a double. So there's 2. I'll use one of these smaller ones here. Just got some new eggs that are new chickens that are starting to lay. And there we go, I got 4 eggs on there. I am cooking these over easy. You can cook them however you like. And I'll just make sure these are all separated out so when it comes time to flip them, hopefully they'll flip a little easier. There we go. And we'll let those cook for just a little while. Okay, once these have been on here for, well, just shy of about 2 minutes here, you can see the yolk is still very soft, but the white's firmed up. We'll flip them over. Notice they're not sticking to the pan because that Spam grease is perfect for that. Uh-oh. Double yolker is going to be the death of me. There we go. And we'll let that cook for about another minute and a half. I might actually break the yolks on these just a little bit so they're just a little firmer. I don't want them to like be really runny, but I do want them to be a little runny. So that's always the trick when you're cooking eggs. We'll let those sit. When it comes to cooking the second side, you just gotta kind of keep an eye on, see how well they're firming up. And these are looking pretty good so far. And I don't know if you just heard it, but our toast is ready, so I will now take this and just turn the heat off on those all together. They're feeling pretty good. Yep, and I'll get the toast going. All right, got my toast on the table. This part's optional. I like mayonnaise on mine. My wife is not a huge fan, so I'm just going to take some of the mayonnaise here and put it on there fairly lightly. I mean, it's breakfast, so mayonnaise just doesn't go all that great with breakfast, but a fried egg sandwich usually has some mayonnaise on it, so I'm going to go ahead and put a little of that on there. All right, now here's a trick that you don't want to do. You don't want to put your cheese directly on the bread because that's going to soak up any of that soft yolk. So the next step here is to take my eggs, and I'm going to put 2 on that side, 2 on this side, right? And then I'm going to take my cheese and put 1 on each side there. And finally, we're ready for our Spam. 3 big slices of Spam. Gonna make for a very hearty breakfast. That's a 4-egg sandwich with 2 slices of cheese and 3 big 3/8 cuts of Spam. Ta-da. Let's see what it tastes like. Well, there we are. 1 beautiful breakfast Spam sandwich. Some of the best sandwiches that you can have for breakfast are not going to come from McDonald's or Burger King or Wendy's or whatnot. They're coming from your kitchen. And Spam, although people like to make fun of it, is a great breakfast meat. Take a look at that up close. Hopefully you can see that focused. Hopefully. That looks like a mess. This is not something you would normally eat standing up, but I will take a bite just to show you how god-awful messy it is once you take a bite out of it. Cooked perfectly. So that's it. If that doesn't hold you over till 1 or 2 o'clock when it's time for lunch, I don't know what will. Sorry to be eating with my mouth full, or talking with my mouth full. I'm Eric, the owner of Farpoint Farms, and this has been how to make the ultimate breakfast Spam sandwich. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, perhaps you'll think about liking and subscribing. I'll see you next time. Take care.
There's always something that needs a little fixing on Farpoint Farms. Freedom is mighty sweet. Liberty sows its seed at Farm.